Welcome once again to Reality for Gamers. I am V Man,
and D Lot.
and as usual, we are here once again to talk about the ever changing and ever growing information in the gaming industry, past, present, and future. Today, we're going to talk about, well, a little things that I've been seeing around lately, and not just recently, but that with the advent of these new next gen systems, they have seemed to have been focusing, well, Sony in particular seems to have been focusing quite a bit on the independent games, the indie games from a lot of developers. There's an article that came up that said that the PlayStation 4 has over 1,000 indie developers ready to make games for them, while Xbox One has around 250, which well, I mean, I think it's been common knowledge ever since they started showing games for the PlayStation 4 that they were really strongly behind the indie game development, and they are constantly getting us new indie games. But that's quite an amount, a large amount of developers in comparison to the Xbox. I think it was fairly common knowledge that from word from several other indie developers that Microsoft is not as friendly or user friendly for the indie developer.
I'm gonna be honest. In the beginning, I was not feeling the whole indie developer scene because, to be honest with you, I associated indie with being low budget and having like bullshit graphics. But a game had came out on the PS4 that they were giving away the game for free. It's one of their PlayStation Plus giveaways. A game called Outlast. And I'm a huge horror game person. I love horror games ever since the original Alone in the Dark from back in the day. The problem is now Outlast is considered an indie game, which I understand that. But when I played that game, the graphics, the sounds, everything seemed like something that a AAA developer would have came up with. And it kind of like changed my mind. It kind of blurred my thought process on what's indie and what's not, because before I always associated indie with low budget, and that game looked really good. I mean, it was using Unreal Engine 3, which but they made that game look really good.
Well, technically, indie is low budget because they don't have the budgets of the quote-unquote AAA titles. But I think what it comes down to is that the amount of money that you have to spend on a game doesn't necessarily equate that it's going to be will guarantee the quality of the game. You don't have to have a huge budget necessarily to have a good game.
But what I meant by low budget, I was looking at it as, this is just my thought process. I was assuming that all indie games had terrible graphics. Okay. like little 8-bit graphics or something like that. Like They just like little cell phone games. I associate.
Okay.
That's what I was assuming. That's what I meant by low budget, not necessarily the money that they had to spend to make the game. But I do understand. I mean, I'm not saying that Outlast is the longest game. I think the average playthrough is probably like 4 to 5 hours or something around that.
Mm-hmm.
But Metal Gear Ground Zero's average gameplay, from what I'm hearing, is like around an hour or 2 hours.
And that's a AAA game.
It's supposed to be a AAA game. So I'm got that. So that kind of makes me wonder, like, what's AAA and what's not? What's considered, like, what budget do you have? Like, I'm not sure. Is it because of those people that made Outlast? That game is the scariest game that I've played in a while.
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't played good survival horror like that. I mean, that literally made me scared to actually want to play the game again. But you still want to play it because it's so good. I mean, we're talking back from games from like the original Resident Evils and the original Silent Hill games, which gave you that fear factor. And get the survival horror games these days has gone so far away from what they originally were. They're not scary. It's not really survival because they give you everything that you really need to fight the zombies or whatever it is that you have. So it doesn't give you that same feeling. Outlast, you have absolutely no weapons at all, and the atmosphere of the entire game is just completely creepy and scary. It's dark with light in certain places, and you have these enemies that'll just pop up on you. I mean, it's classic type of things for horror. And this is an indie game we're talking about that gives you that type of good gameplay.
Yeah, that's why I'm really excited. I'm hoping that the Evil Within, which is one of the upcoming horror games made from the original creator of Resident Evil, you know, I hope that that game is, because he said he wants to bring back the fear into games that's left. Even though he's the person that started the whole action game craze, because he directed Resident Evil 4 and he kind of switched it up.
Well, I
But
mean, it still had, yeah. I mean, Resident Evil 4 didn't have as much of the horror feel. I mean, it didn't completely get rid of it like 5 and subsequent ones did. But you know, you can see there was a different. That's where Resident Evil changed. You know, it made the biggest change. But I guess, you know, just like him, he's seen what these other horror games have tried to do, and just like how they've completely taken the fear out of the game. So
like the original Dead Space, that was fear.
yeah,
And then by the time the third one came, it was kind of like, what the hell is it? Didn't even seem like the same game.
it's action. It became action adventure is what I called it, because I mean, you get all these weapons and none of the enemies can really hurt you because you're so powerful. So it's like, why are you afraid? You're like waiting for them to come up so you can kill them. So that's not survival hard. It never has been.
But I do see a lot of comments on the internet about indie games, and I know there's mixed feelings about it. I do think there's still a stigma out there where a lot of people associate indie games with being little, you know, games that has no real deep story or can't have
like games you would play on a cell phone.
Yeah, where though if you play a game, like I said, I haven't played a lot of indie games, but Outlast was like my first indie game that I really kind of got into and played like that. So I can't speak for all of them, but if that's supposed to be considered an indie game, then I'm all for it.
Well, I mean, I've seen people the extreme somewhere. Some people don't feel that indie games are games, period. And then there are others are like, well, it's not a AAA game, but what does AAA mean? What is that? What is the basis for AAA game? What's considered a AAA game? Is it because of how much money is spent developing the game? Is that what makes it AAA? Is it the experience that you get out of it that makes it AAA? Because if that's the case, that could mean that if it's the first one, that means that no indie game could be a AAA game if that's the case, because their budget is never high enough to be considered that. But if AAA means the experience that you get, a game, I fully believe an indie game could deliver a AAA experience in gameplay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say what's going to be a AAA from what's not, because there's certain games that you would think like would be a AAA. Like I remember this game called Two Human on the Xbox 360.
That was like 10 years in development, right? And
yeah.
It was supposed to be like one of the, because that was a famous developer.
Yeah,
right?
It was supposed to be a big project, but when that game came out, a lot of people it got average to mediocre reviews. And
yeah, I was one of the ones that bought that game too when it came out, and yeah, I was quite disappointed in its overall concept. I mean, the idea behind it was good with the which was pretty much
the
Norse gods and things, but just the gameplay was really generic, and for a game that was in development for so long, I certainly and the hype that it was supposed to have had, I certainly expected more. So you know that's the thing. You can spend a whole lot of money on a game and it may not turn out very well in the end. And at the same token, you may not have to spend a whole bunch of money on a game, and it could turn out to be really, really good. So I have to say that if you are looking for something or something that you are interested in, take a look at it first, because indie games vary so much in the way they play and the types of games they have. There's some that may appeal to people and some that don't. I don't like every indie game that comes out, but I do take a look at them and see how they play. There's plenty of videos on many sites that you can see and determine if it looks like something that's fun to play. And I think that's really the bottom line, is if it's going to be something that you are going to enjoy and have fun with.
Well, there's one indie game coming out that it seems like a AAA. Well, it's AAA in my eyes. This is a game called Titanic: Honor and Glory, but that's only for the PC right now. But I hope to God that Sony and Microsoft and these other companies are smart enough to try to pick up this game and bring it over to that console, because that game was good. I mean, it's supposed to be an indie game, but well, they were using the CryEngine 3. Apparently, they switched over to Unreal Engine 4, but the level of detail that they put into that game, it doesn't look like any low-budget, stereotypical indie games. It looks like a AAA game in my eyes. Now, you could call me a little biased because I am a Titanic fan.
Yeah, you have that Titanic model, well, not a full size, but a scale model.
Yeah, I mean it's 40 inches long, so yeah. It's pretty big.
Yeah, but I mean, even at that, at the few videos I've seen of it, I mean, it's very early in its development, but it looks like something that could be interesting, and I'll keep my eye on. A few people are talking about the game No Man's Sky that's coming out for PlayStation 4 later on. And it's a procedurally generated game where you can travel in a spaceship from a planet out into space into other planets, which to me is pretty ambitious. And it looks like that's definitely anything that has to do with space exploration I will play.
And that's seamless, it looks like, because
you just go straight from the planet out into without any loading screens, no flip, nothing. It just, you go straight out into it and can travel and on to other planets. Which I've never seen that before in any game before that has to deal with space exploration. I mean, I played Mass Effect, all of them to death.
Yeah, me too. And especially Mass Effect 2. I put a lot of time into that game.
So I'm into the space thing. So depending on how that game plays out, I'll be keeping an eye on it. But that definitely looks like something that I would be interested in.
What's the other thing that I've been hearing? I hear a lot of these fanboys talk about. I hear a lot of fanboys argue about a game that recently came out. What was it? Infamous Second Son recently came out. And I hear a lot of people talk about the fact that, of course, Infamous is, I guess that's supposed to be considered a AAA game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because it has a big budget. I hear a lot of people saying that, it has great graphics and everything, but the gameplay is average, and I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, they need to innovate on the gameplay. What the heck is innovative gameplay? What does that mean?
I've not seen one person that's been able to explain this to me, and I've seen that a lot too. And I don't like, okay, what is considered innovative gameplay? Okay, Infamous has great graphics, fine, but it didn't innovate. But okay, first of all, I could see someone talking about innovative gameplay if this is from a series that is new. We've had previous to Infamous. They already established what the gameplay was with the game, so I was not surprised that it was going to play like it is. But I don't know how much more innovative you can be. I mean, as far as gameplay is concerned, I mean, is it adding peripherals? Because I think we've tried that before. When the Wii came out, they had innovative gameplay with their wireless wand.
Let me tell you something.
People ate it up, but now it's like, okay, when Move came out and when Kinect came out, it's like, okay, well, people weren't so big on it, and it's not a huge seller.
I could have sworn people called all that shit gimmicks anyway, because it's like.
Gimmicks and add-ons that people don't care about. Apparently, I mean, I've heard that around in the past before also.
But yet they'll complain and say a game like Infamous gameplay is not innovative. What I'm trying to say is you got to make your mind up, because when they try to give you innovative gameplay, you'll say, oh, it's a gimmick. If they try to give you shit with the PS4 controller and give you touchpad integration, people call that gimmicky. And I'm like, okay, when they try to do something to try to switch it up, it's called gimmick. But when they don't do anything to change it, you say that the gameplay is the same.
It doesn't offer anything new. It's not innovative gameplay. So I mean, which one is it?
What first-person shooter out there right now has innovative gameplay? Because last time I checked, Call of Duty plays similar to another first-person shooter game called Battlefield. That plays similar to like another first-person shooter game that I played called Far Cry. That plays similar to Killzone. I've played all those games. They all have pretty much similar controls. So
yeah, first-person shooter doesn't really innovate that much as far as the controls. I mean, they can add little things here and there, but the basics is the same. I mean, it's a first-person shooter, just like any platforming game. It's the same.
Yeah, like
pretty
Mario.
Much the same thing.
Did Mario's gameplay change over the years, even with the Wii remote? Last time I checked, I don't think the gameplay has changed much. I mean, you flick up little things here and there, but come on, like, how can you really innovate on Mario's gameplay? You jumping up, you breaking bricks, you stomping turtles.
It's been the same thing. all three God of War games pretty much played the same way. I didn't see anybody complaining about those 3 games when they came out about it not being innovative gameplay. They're the same type of thing. Uncharted, same thing. Any game, really, any
Assassin's
genre.
Creed
Oh my God,
has had the same gameplay with the same guys that attack one by
with
one.
the same dumb AI.
And it hasn't changed. And so I'm like,
if anybody needs some innovative gameplay, it's Assassin's Creed. But I mean, again, it's been the same thing. I don't understand what the complaint is, unless it's just fanboys hating on a game just because.
Let me tell you, Grand Theft Auto, as good as that game is, the gameplay really has not changed at all since Part 3 came out on PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
the gameplay has been pretty much the same.
Yeah. And people love that game. They buy every one of them.
I buy every one of them. I'm one of those people. I'm telling you. Like, I'm telling you, as a fan of the GTA series, the gameplay, I cannot play a GTA game. I don't have to play the GTA game for 5 years straight, and I can come back to it and pick up the controls and get right into it, because I know the gameplay is going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like that in a way, because at least I don't have to fight with trying to relearn. Can you imagine if they changed the controls in every game?
Yeah,
if you had to fight to
try to
relearn
figure out how to play it. Like, this is not how it was when I last played this game. We kind of.
You know how many fighting games I play sometimes, and I get pissed off when they change certain moves of my characters.
Well, yeah, fighting games is probably the only one I know that they do change controls on characters. Oh, and yeah, I should know, because I played every last King of Fighters game that they ever released, and I hated it when they changed the commands for the same characters that I was used to using. I'm like, why did they do this? It's so stupid. It makes no sense. They should have kept it the same.
I own every Mortal Kombat there is, and I'm telling you, I remember when Mortal Kombat, I was really good in Deadly Alliance with Scorpion in particular. And when Deception came out, they completely changed Scorpion's character. I was so pissed. So then I had to get familiar with this new character called Cobra, and I became a beast with him. And then when Mortal Kombat Armageddon came out, they completely changed Cobra. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? Now you gonna no, fuck innovative gameplay, man. Don't change my characters when I already like the goddamn game the way it is. What type of shit is that?
If you want to innovate, do it with something new. If you got tried and true franchises that already had established ways of how the gameplay is, I don't expect any changes out of it. So I'm not disappointed that Infamous didn't offer quote unquote innovative gameplay. You name me one game that has innovative gameplay over its previous iteration. And it just, if anybody can define for me what what innovative gameplay is, I really would like to know that, because I really don't. I could be missing something completely here, despite what I've just previously said. But if anybody knows, just please put something down and give us your ideas, because I have no clue.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure these same people won't be running out to buy them damn virtual reality kits they got coming out. Because if you want to see people trying to innovate gameplay, I guess virtual reality.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have things, yeah, and that's in the news big at the moment. Sony's doing their Morpheus, and then the Oculus Rift thing. Although I guess Oculus Rift has been sort of taken out of the game market, supposedly, since it was bought by Facebook. But I mean, this is another way that they are trying to innovate gameplay. If that is my idea of it. But again, it's another peripheral. And how much you want to bet people are going to, I know there are a lot of people that are either like it or on the fence about it right now. But how much you want to bet, oh, it's a gimmick. It's not really going to.
And I'm one of them. I'm going to say it's a gimmick. I don't feel like coming home from a hard day's work to put on a big ass headset to get up and try to jump up and down, try to act like I'm inside again. I'm too goddamn lazy. Fuck that shit, man. I'm tired. Hell no, I ain't into it. Gimmick.
So you wouldn't be one of these ones that's saying, "Oh, the game doesn't have innovative gameplay."
No, because I like Infamous. I bought the fucking all 3 games. I'm not complaining about the goddamn Infamous game. Shit,
Yeah,
I don't know. But like he said, I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear from the people on the net. I want to know, what do you guys consider innovative gameplay? What game have you played let you feel like it's moved the industry forward so much? Please let us know, because I'm confused myself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not alone. We're not alone in that. But just let us know what you feel like is innovative gameplay, because I don't know. I don't know what it means. I think I know what it means, at least my idea. But if somebody else out there has any ideas, just feel free to let us know.
Exactly. This is D-Lock.
And this is V-Man. We'll catch you all next time.
Rate, comment, subscribe, please let us know what the fuck is innovative gameplay, because I don't fucking know. I'm telling you, I don't know, and I would like to know y'all opinions, please.
Peace.